there's something called selected value. So the selected value is a super cool feature. With this function, you can make your report dynamic. Okay, that is one of the scenarios. The selected value is really helpful. For example, what I am going to do is I just go to the sorry, I'm here, right? So here we have something called enter data. I'm going to create a table. Okay. See here, the requirement is something like let's say in a slicer, what are the value that I selected? Okay, whatever the value that I selected, the corresponding data should get displayed here. Okay. So I wanted to the scenario here is yeah, to make it more clear, I want display the measures more dynamically. Okay, you want to display the measures more directly. What do you mean by measures? For example, total sales and net margin, and you have something called cost of goods sold. You want this one to be dynamically displayed in your visual. For example, I have a visual table visual or something like that. Okay, here I have the let's take the same thing category and this one for the sake of simplicity. Okay, and I have a slicer here. So there is a requirement. Okay, whatever the value that I selected, only that one should get displayed here. So in this slicer, okay, the first step is I'm going to create a static table. So for that, here itself, we can click on the entire data. Here, can you see the table name here, right? This is the name. You can give the table name as, for example, dynamic measures. Okay, here I just say the total revenue, this one measure, and then total profit, and then here I just say net margin. Okay, I'm going to hit load now. I have, this is called a static table. It is also called as a disconnected table. Not necessarily all the table, you should have the relationship with other tables, right? So this is, kind of a different situation, different scenario. So in this case, you're going to have a standalone table. It is not going to get linked with other tables. And here I'm going to clear this. Look here, dynamic measures. I'm going to, so this table got created. I just drop this column one here. Look here. So in this table, whatever I typed it manually, right? These are the three values are the net margin. So now I just click on card visual. I'm going to create something called select. Did I create anything? Selected value? No, it is not there. Selected value is not there. I'm going to use modeling ribbon. I'm going to create a new measure. But don't worry, initially you'll get confused. Just watch what I do it here. And then I'll explain everything, okay? And here I just say selected measure. Selected value or selected value measure. I just selected, type the name of the function is selected measure. Selected selected value, right? Selected, not the measure, selected value. So the column name, comma, alternate result. In this case, I just say the column name is this one, the what is the table name? Dynamic measures column 1. Okay, comma. Okay, simply I just store this value. Okay, I just press enter. What this selected value functions, whatever the value that you say, that one will get displayed here. For example, if I click on it here, okay, here I did not put this in it. What is that? A selected value measure. I did not draw. I created a measure, but I did not use it here, right? Look here, when I, okay, just give me a second, I'll explain you. Okay. Total profit. Here, if I put total profit, total revenue, correct. I just clear it. See, whatever the value the user selected here, that one get, that one get captured by this function called selected value. Okay, inside the selected value, I specified the table name, which I created it, the static table, and then the column name. You make sure that the table with the column name is specified here. So whatever you selected here, without your knowledge, behind the scene, the selected value function, it's something like a CCTV. Okay, whatever the action that you do it, you can capture it with the help of selected value. Just think that way. Okay, fine. Next step, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to create another measure. Okay, here no error. I just dynamic measure. So here total profit, right? I just create a measure called total profit. Yes, Aishwarya, we need to, it's always good if you create explicit measure like this, okay? And what I do is I will open up the measure which I created, dynamic measure. 1 second, I'll explain everything. Don't worry, okay? And in this case, yeah, display dynamic measure here. Profit equal to, you just give the total profit which we created the measure. Okay, that's all. Here we will make it more readable. The readability is very much important. So hence I'm going to hold the alt key. Oh, no, I mistakenly pressed enter. Okay, 1 second. You need to hold the alt key and then press enter. Okay, to take it to the next line. To move it to the next line, I just selected it, press enter, and then press tab, entered value, and then this one. Do this one. Yes, again you check another condition. So instead of using if else, if, right, multiple if, we can use the switch function also, which I taught you already, right? You can use the switch function. In this case, this one is meant for the overall thing, and this one is meant for what? And this is for this if condition. For this, if you have used the open parenthesis, we need to make sure the corresponding thing, you need to close it. But selected value is a function, right? Even for this, you need to have the open and closed parenthesis. You need to be very cautious with this one, okay? And I'm going to press enter. That's all. Now it's working perfect. And if I select total profit, look here, 1 second, whether it's displaying correctly. Yeah, I think so. Yes, correct. So if you want to see the total profit along with the total sales, you can see that. If you want to see the net margin, same way, right? You put another condition. But for you, the exercises, you replace multiple ifs. Instead, you can use the switch function. Okay, and you can use this switch function. Since we are using the equal sign, switch, inside the first argument, you need to specify true function. And then you check the condition, okay? That's all. So got it? So if I wanted to display the measures dynamically here, so display dynamic, in this case, total revenue. And if I click on this total profit, okay. So this is you, okay. So both of them are same. For you to show, I have used the revenue thing here. Here you can use net revenue. Okay, you can use net revenue. What you do is in this total sum of total sales minus the discount minus the what is that? The discount value and that kind of thing. You can cost of goods value. You subtract it, you will get the net revenue. Ideally, it should be a net revenue. Okay, along with the total gross revenue. This kind of your gross revenue display the net revenue. And if the user select total profit, it should. So this is kind of dynamically changing the measures. Okay. So what are the steps that involved here? To summarize how to use selected value, the first step is you need to create a temporary table. It's kind of static table. Instead of saying temporary table, static table. The static table name in this case, what was that? Dynamic measures. The name was dynamic measure. In this table, I have created I put three entries in the column. In the dynamic measures, look here, total revenue, total profit. These three values I included in this table, static table. How did I do that? Click on the enter data and then you can specify whatever. In this case, I mentioned the table image dynamic measures. The column one, I mentioned these three values. That's all. First step, I create a static table. Second step, I have created a slicer. In that slicer, this column one, I dropped it here. That's all. And third step, what I did, I have created a measure by the name of selected value. This is just for our verification, but in real-time scenario, you don't have to display this one. This is for testing purpose, okay? In this case, what we did, I have used the selected value for our understanding. Look here, the selected value function. Inside that, I mentioned the table which I created, and then the column name, okay? Which I created, okay? The dynamic measures column one was inside the selected value I mentioned. So that whatever the value that I selected, the selected value, what it does is, it takes the snapshot of this action, something like CCTV. Okay. Yes, this is working fine. Fine. The next step is what I did. I created the visual, whatever I wanted. And then what I did, I just created another measure. So once you create the selected value thing, you need to use it, right? So here only I'm really using it here. Dynamic display dynamic measures. So here in this case, if the selected value, that means the user select total revenue in my slicer, to display this total sales. If the user select total profit, to do. How do you know user selected value? That's where the selected value function is very much helpful. This one, that's the CCTV job. So step one, create a temporary table. You list down all the measures. 6 steps to step 2, you drop that static table column name in this slicer. And step 3, you can create a visual whatever that you needed, and then you create another measure. That new measure, okay? In that measure, what you do, you check whatever the selected value is equivalent to the total revenue. When the user click on it, you display that measure, okay? And when you click on the total profit, so that's all. So these are the steps that you need to remember. It's pretty simple and straightforward. And other interesting part of this one, in the intro, they'll ask, how do you change the title dynamically, visual title dynamically? For that, you go to the format view, and here the title, right? Title is on. And then you can do one thing. Here FX is there. Look here, you can type the title name manually here. Instead, I'm going to select the formula thing here. In this case, the field value, first column name, dynamic display, dynamic measure. It's not there. Okay, the dynamic measures. Okay, what we will do is, in this case, use the selected value, right? Selected value measure, because that is the one holding the revenue, all the thing, right? Okay, fine. So now if I select why the title is not coming here? 1 second. I just go here. Title on. Okay, somehow I did not select it. That is the problem. First category here, selected value measure. You need to select it and then you need to hit OK and then check whether it is getting displayed. Yes, it is getting displayed here. Look at total profit, right? When I click on the total revenue comes here. Title, can you see it? So this is how you can, dynamically display the measures, and you can dynamically change the visual title. This one you practice it without fail. Okay, this is very much important. Okay, next one is